Hello, hey, thank you very much for tuning back into the Teal Jack channel. My name is Todd, and what I'm discussing today has to do with the current state of the United States and the virus. And that is, I'm just curious to know how many of you can recall what Martin Luther did for America back in the 60s. Um, and I think there's a relation to those events and what he did and what needs to transpire in America today. So, what we've got is we've been told to stay at home, we've been locked down, we got people being arrested for going out and exercising what I would call their Fourth Amendment right. The guy down in California paddle surfing got arrested. There was a gal who took her kids to a park and she got arrested in Idaho. And there's a few other stories. And what doesn't make sense to me is that we're told to lock down, we're told to stay at home, and yet none of the government workers that have put this upon us are staying at home. Some of them seem to be going to work regularly, so it doesn't really seem to be affecting them much. But for the majority of the United States, we're told to stay home. Businesses have closed. 26 million people, I think, is the total now, are out of work. They're without a job. And our economy is, what I would say, is collapsing under this. It's all based off of some models that projected millions of people would die, and those models are absolutely incorrect. And I don't know if any of you have caught the video of a Dr. Erickson from California that he gave a press conference here very recently, under which he discussed the virus in California and its effects down there and the rates. And he kept emphasizing that millions of people are exposed and have gotten it, and a very small few have died. And that's the reality. And he gave a number of 0.03% chance, 0.03% chance of getting the disease, and you have a 0.01 or he gave a number that was less than 1. I believe it was 0.003% chance of getting the virus, and the flu he gave was or dying of the virus. And with the flu, he gave the example of a 0.01%. So you had a greater chance of dying of the flu than dying of the CCP virus or COVID-19. And his major point is the idea that all of this lockdown was based on a model that was completely incorrect and is not happening worldwide. He also discussed the differences between Sweden and Norway and how they've handled this, where Sweden's been basically in a lockdown and Norway has not. And the death rate and exposure rate has been about equal in comparison. So you have one state that's all locked down, one that's not. Death rate's about equal, and exposure rate is about equal. And both of those equal similar to the rates that are taking place here in the United States and across the board. So you've got millions of people being exposed and a very small percentage of people that are actually dying. And yet we're told to still stay at home. Don't go to work. Don't open your businesses up. If you go out in public, you're going to be arrested. You'll be questioned by the police on why you're out and about. And that's just, it's wrong. It's what we are seeing is a tyrannical government and what I would refer to as tyranny, where we're no longer being allowed to exercise our rights that are granted to us under our Constitution. And if we do, we'll get arrested. So this is where I say there's a link to what's taking place today and what transpired with Martin Luther. And that is, I believe what needs to take place within our country right now, starting today, starting tomorrow, is everybody just needs to go back to work. Do what Martin Luther did and go against the government. Under fear of arrest, I understand that, but you need to stand up for your rights. And it's what I would call a protest. It's what I would refer to as a way to protest what our government's doing and take back our rights. Yeah, I understand there's a fear of being arrested, but that's what needs to transpire. A few brave souls in this country need to step forward, need to go back to work, need to open up your businesses and start commerce again in this country. Because the reality of it is, your chance of getting COVID or the CCP virus or the Wuhan virus or the coronavirus seems to be on par with getting the flu. And the death rates seem to be equal right now between the flu and COVID 19. And yet, we don't shut everything down every single year when an estimate roughly 35 to 60 to 68,000 people die each year from the flu, and we don't shut the government down. And yet, we are allowing them to continue to close things down, continue to take our rights away, and that needs to come to an end. And so basically, what you could say is, I'm calling for people to go back to work, to go back and let's go about our lives and go about what we should be doing. My understanding here is the Department of Agriculture has closed the U.S. forests down, so you can't even go hiking in the forest without a threat of a citation in the tune of $5,000. Now, I'm willing to go back out in the forest and go back out and take my kids and go shooting, but I can't afford a $5,000 fine, and I'm not sure there's anybody out there that would help back me up. But I'm willing to do it, and I think that's what we need to do, is we need to retake our country back from the tyrannical governments that are instilling tyranny and fear throughout our nation. That's my call. Tell me what you think. If you think this is a good idea, that we stand up, that we become like Martin Luther and protest our government in a peaceful way, non-violent way, much as he did, to regain our rights that are being stripped from us, that are being taken away, all based on fear and all based on a model that was inaccurate and was a lie put upon us. So those are my thoughts. Tell me what you think. God bless. Take care. I hope you're well, and we'll talk with you later. Hi, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to watch one of my videos. Please hit the like button below, and if you would, hit the subscribe link up here, and take some time to watch one of my other videos. Thanks again, and have a wonderful day. God bless, and take care of yourself.